Rich Hole Wilderness Backpacking. Almost a mini version of Dragon's Tooth. Maybe the first people in history to do an actual circuit here. Just don't want to lose your footing and then fall down. That would suck. We got to go all the way back, probably to the parking lot. Guess who totally didn't pay attention or listen to her? This guy, this guy. Are you ready to start on the real trail now? Oh, gnarly. Hey, I'm Otter.
And I'm Bone Crusher.
Today we're at the Rich Hole Wilderness located in George Washington National Forest. We're going to be doing a one-night backpack trip into the wilderness. We're going to do a circuit of about 11 miles. So this is a trail that's going to follow the river up with a lot of elevation gain, and then we hope to spend one night out in the woods somewhere. Any thoughts before we get started?
Just a little bit worried about the bullet holes.
Bullet holes in signs, probably not a good idea. Good sign, you know. But
It'll be fun.
Let's get rocking. We're gonna hit the trail. For those of you wanting to find this trail, you can find it on National Geographic Map 786. It's the Rich Hole Wilderness. This is wilderness area number 8 in size for Virginia, number 8. It's got one trail that runs through it. We're starting at the south end, at the south parking lot. There's a parking lot at the north end as well. Our plan is to take the trail up the mountain here, up the creek, for about 6 miles. Tonight we'll camp somewhere along that creek, and then tomorrow, rather than backtrack on ourselves, we're just going to hike out on the road. So it's a one-nighter. We like to do these short backpacks because that's what our time allows us to do. All right.
You're gonna have to start over with
well, we went the wrong way. We've come a mile up this forest road, and this guy, Otter, totally did not look at the map because I was following the blazes. This is a trail, but it's not the trail we want to be on. We want to be down in the valley, not up here on this mountain. Although the views up here are pretty spectacular, we have to go back now about a mile, so we'll add two miles on to our hike today. I was wondering where the river was. We got to go all the way back, probably to the parking lot. Well, we're back at the car, not because we wanted to, but because we took a 1 mile detour up the hill that we weren't supposed to do. That is my fault. Didn't read the map carefully. The real trail you want to take is this way. It's like that scene in Dumb and Dumber. Excuse my friend here. The trail you want to take is that way. But we went that way, which is straight up the hill. So that way good, that way bad. That's an extra 2 miles and a lot of elevation gain for nothing. So what do you do when you hiked 2 miles unnecessarily and climbed about 1,000 feet for no reason? And you're basically back at the car where you started. What do you do? What's your go-to? At Otten Mountain, we go to the wine.
Wee-haw!
Because we could. Oh,
Party foul.
We're gonna get back on the trail soon. This is just a lunch break and a swig of the old red. Are you ready to start on the real trail now?
That was just a warm up, right? This is the real deal.
She even said at the start of the hike, she said, "Hey, there's 2 trails here," and guess who totally didn't pay attention or listen to her? This guy. She really said that, and I was like, no, we're gonna go this way. I didn't look at the map because I'm so smart.
Aw.
I usually think I'm pretty good with navigation. I think I'm better than average, but today obviously
And I was.
All right, so we're gonna get going that way. The town is that way. Hey, about 0.1 mile in on the Rich Hole Trail, you get to this sign. It's been vandalized recently. The trail register has been torn off and the sign is damaged. But we're going to be basically hiking from the south end the parking lot all the way to the north, and there's also a parking lot. And then instead of backtracking on ourselves, we're gonna hike out on the road, do a little not urban, but we're gonna do a little bit of
country road,
vagabonding, whatever you call it, when you just backpack a road. So we like circuits, so that's the only way to do a circuit, is to hike back on the road. We understand there's about maybe 15 river crossings on this trail, and rather than try to hopscotch across, we've decided, our shoes, just to be clear, our shoes are dry now. We've decided to just go ahead and slog through the river rather than try to navigate the rocks. We do it for two reasons. One, for safety, and then two, I think eventually they're going to get wet anyway.
Probably.
So Bone Crusher suggested this, and I'm kind of okay with it. So we're gonna opt in on getting feet wet.
It's gonna feel good.
River crossing number 1. Here we go. All right, Bone Crusher, you're up. How does it feel?
Felt amazing!
All right, my turn. Oh, 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 oh.
How did it feel?
It felt good and kind of bad too at the same time.
Hello.
It's a very gentle trail heading up here. Slight uphill along the river, but the views are really nice. It's a nice trail. Reminds me a little bit of Jeremy's Run.
I'm about ready to jump in. Looks like a nice little swimming hole there.
This is our 9th river crossing, so it's a lot of rivers. Same river, a lot of river crossings. And just so you know, there are no blazes on this trail. So best to have a good map and actually look at it. And then the trail is tramped down pretty well. So we haven't had much trouble staying on the trail so far. It's a beautiful trail, just meandering up, crossing every 0.1, 0.2 miles. We've come about maybe 1.5 at this point. About at the 11th river crossing. It's a steady slog. Up there looks like a cave of some kind, almost like a Mesa Verde type thing. I wish I could get up there and explore, but we have no time. So we want to camp along the river, so I'm scouting out for a flat site. I haven't been a lot of flat camp areas here. We haven't seen any sign of any campers at any time. So we'll see what we can find. Although I'm hiking ahead of Bone Crusher, we are staying in contact with the radios. So just in case she needs me or I need her. And the only reason I'm separated at this point is just so I can kind of scout ahead for adequate campsites. And of course, behind me, these cliffs are redonkulous. Okay, came off trail just a little bit. The trail is right down there. It's where the creek runs. We shimmied up this hill here, right above where the cliffs. When you get to the cliffs, you turn just past the cliffs and then you climb up this ridge, and it's a little ridge. So the cliffs would be over there, the ones that I just showed you. And then you get that view down the valley over there. So for a one night here, this is going to work, and then we have a little bit of a trek to get back to the trail and down to the water, but it's not too bad. Good advantage is we get a little more daylight up here. We got a nice flat area here, and we got a view. I think it's going to have to do for now. All right, let's get Bone Crusher up here and we'll get some water so we can filter and get camp set up.
I think it's going to be a good spot to tuck ourselves in for the night.
All right, well, we're going to get to setting up everything, get the tent. I did filter 4 liters of water, and I've got 2 liters of dirty. So we have 6 liters of water up here. We could always get more if we need it. Just didn't want to be short on water because that hill coming out of the little, from the trail up to here is a pretty steep ascent. All right, we're gonna get camp set up. Well, we got our sleep system set up. We've got the big Agnes Fly Creek UL3 3-person tent, which is good for 2 people. We also have the big Agnes sleep system with the Q Core pads. She has the Roxy Ann, and I have this Lost Ranger. It's their 15-degree rated bags. I'll show you that real quick. If you want to see how they set up, you can watch our last backpacking video where I go through that. But real quick, the sleep pad fits in a sleeve at the bottom of the sleeping bags. So the bottom of the sleeping bags are really thin because you're using the sleep pad, the insulated pad, as your insulation against the cold from below. So that's our sleep system. All right, we're gonna get the rest of camp set up. Sun is setting. We'll get a little fire going, and pretty soon we'll make some food.
Okay, so we dehydrated some hamburger, peas, carrots, corn, and onions, lima beans. So we're gonna see how this works to rehydrate, and we're gonna make shepherd's pie up here on the ridge. All homemade, dehydrated backpacking food, low cost, so hope it's gonna be as good as we think. Cheers.
Everybody has their different style of backpacking. There's no one right way to do it, but we tend to go not ultralight, we tend to go medium light. We have some ultralight stuff, and then we also bring luxury items. So we're kind of in that zone of want to have the luxury, but we also want to have medium weight, so we're not killing ourselves. And that includes the luxury item of some liquid that cannot be sourced from the river. Fire looks good, food's rehydrating. We're really digging the dehydrator we got. We're starting to make our own food, so we're going to do a video on that, show you how we get our backpack food. Had some really crappy eggs this morning. They were rubbery that I had made with my dehydrator, so still got a ways to go to figure out how to do that right. To Rich Hole Wilderness. Rich Hole.
It's rich, all right.
This hole is rich. All right, here's the end product. We got some mashed potatoes and all real food in here. So this was all right out of our dehydrator, low cost, and it tastes pretty good. No more freeze-dried food. It's real food. Meat's a little chewy, but we'll have to work on getting that perfected. Well, good morning, campers. It is the next day. Had a good night's sleep. Temperature was pretty good. Did not freeze my butt off. Not like some other nights we've had. Good temperature. Climbing this mountain right now to get our bear bag.
It's oatmeal and blueberries and coffee. Can't beat that for the morning.
Oh man, coffee's good. Coffee good. Simple little breakfast. Got the tent down already, and we're gonna be breaking camp here in a little bit, hitting the trail. Today we're gonna be going up that mountain behind me. So that's the bad news and the good news. Bad news is we gotta climb that mountain. Good news, we get to climb that mountain. Ah, see what I did there? All right, well, we just left camp. Camp is there. We're gonna make our way around the edge of this hill, meet back up with the trail, which is down there in the river. Eventual destination is up there on that ridge.
I feel like I'm in Hobbit land.
We've reached what we think might be the last river crossing. I think it's like number 16. So we're gonna go ahead and fill up whatever water we can because we gotta climb that mountain behind you. I just wanna make sure we have enough water to get back, not only up, back down, and then we gotta hike the road for about 5 miles. This is the water we'll have to get us through. Well, we left the last river crossing, which we thought was the last river crossing. We filled up, got an extra 2 liters of water. But then we're crossing another one here. And this river crossing looks like there's better opportunities for camping. Got a nice flat spot over here. If you wanted to camp here, it would be probably better than trying to find a place anywhere between here and where we camped. Well, I don't know how many more river crossings. I think this is number 17.
17, if we counted right.
Yeah, we might have counted all, you know, it's possible we missed one, but there's supposed to be 16 river crossings, so we'll see. Yeah. Check it with you later. At this point on the trail, we're probably about 3.5 miles. I think the spring is still there, but it's not much more than a trickle of water here. So we're hoping to pull away and get over this saddle soon, but I'm not really sure because, like I said, there's not a lot of good trail information on this. This might be the only video anyone's ever made in Rich Hole. Couldn't find anything when I looked for it. But lots of potential camp spots. There's a lot of brambles in the trail that I imagine would grow out in the spring and summer pretty bad. Right now it's pretty easy to pass through. We're on a section of the trail that's been recently created or recently maintained, and I just want to say a big shout out to those who come out here and volunteer their time to make these trails because you guys do a hell of a job. This is a lot of work, just carving this new trail here, but the old trail looked like it went that way. It's a good job. If you ever watch this, trail maintenance people, we appreciate you. And I don't know how you do it, really don't, but we appreciate it. Once we climbed out of the valley, we're on a little kind of a side, almost like a ridge. But this is a nice little flat area, a little bit of a break. Although we're still climbing, we have a long ways to go. It's a nice part of the trail. Well, we're really climbing now, steady, along this sort of like ridge. Again, trail maintenance has been done here. I don't know how they do it. It's a lot of work that was done here. But nice views down there to the, I think it's the Alum Creek drainage down in there. No trails in there, but this is steady. We've been hiking uphill since yesterday. We've not had one single downhill, so keep that in mind if you plan this trip. Still climbing. Climb never ends, but it looks like we might be getting to a saddle here. That view is redonkulous.
Make you chuckle when you reviewed it. You caught me.
So we're at the saddle. We finally made it up. I think this is the last of the climbing we'll do. I mean, it's been a really hard climb for 2 days. Not a lot of miles, but it just feels longer, doesn't it?
Yeah, it feels like about 5 miles, but I think it's because it's sort of a slow, steady descent upward. I mean, ascent upward.
It just never kind of yielded. It was uphill the whole way, and with those river crossings and some of the rocks and things made it more, it felt farther. But I think this is the top.
Feels like it.
If you wanted to camp up here, we did see a little fire ring just over the trail, well, and then down the ridge there, you can probably find some camp spots. A lot of dead trees up here.
I guess from the fire?
Maybe from that forest fire that was up here a couple years ago. We're gonna start our descent soon. Feel better already? Whew. Rough. Rough! Ahoo! Ahoo!
There you go.
You see, got a nice view over here to my left. If you were gonna do an out and back version of this hike, I would probably just stop at that ridge and then go back, because I think this next piece is gonna be really, really tough to go back up afterwards. Of course, we're creating the circuit hike. Maybe the first people in history to do an actual circuit here, because we're gonna hike the road back. And we don't feel like backtracking, at least not on that trail. Not to say you shouldn't, but that's not something we wanna do. But the views are really nice down this little trail. It's super steep going down, just gotta take your time. I would just recommend you take your time coming down this trail or going up this trail. Check out that trail descent. It goes straight down. That's probably a 45, well, maybe 30-degree run there. It's steep. I would not want to climb up it, but even going down it is a little bit tricky. We're going baby steps. Just don't want to lose your footing and then fall down there. That would suck.
Straighten up then.
Trail goes straight up the side of this mountain. We came down from up there. That's the saddle area over there. But you can also see a lot of signs of the forest fire that was here before, including what seems like barely standing trees, just burned out, but they're still standing. In and amongst these giants that didn't seem to get affected too badly by the fire. Maybe they're just too big for the flames to do anything with them. This is a big valley over here. Just kind of eerie with all the burned out trees. Climbing back out of this hole, up this trail, it would be brutal. That is a climb. Just going down it, man, it's hard enough. So we're glad we're gonna take the road back. And it's a kind of not a well-traveled road. It's a peaceful old road, parallels 64. Bone Crusher said this is her favorite part of the whole hike, right on this side, because it's wide open. You got these wide open areas, the brown trail. Right, Bone Crusher?
That's right. So much more visually appealing for me anyways. It's beautiful. Magnificent.
Magnificent! We just rounded this bend and you can see Interstate 64 right down there. You can hear it too. So we're getting close. About a half mile to go. We've got this large rock outcropping. Looks like you could probably shimmy on over and take a little break if you wanted to get some views of 64. If you do this hike, definitely come out over here at these rocks, because you get, even though it's civilization and it's Route 64, you got a great view here. I mean, it's expansive looking down, and these rocks are pretty cool. Almost a mini version of Dragon's Tooth, which we did a couple of days ago. Not bad. Decided to have lunch here at this rock outcropping. Pretty cool, eh? We're just having some snack packs, and we're getting near the end of the trail part, so now is as good a time as any to have a snack.
A snack with a view.
We got an awesome view on Interstate 64. But it's actually not bad.
No,
I mean, it's something different. How often do you get to be in a wilderness and stare out at an interstate? Well, we made it to the northern terminus of the Rich Hole Trail in the Rich Hole Wilderness. I think the total trail is about 6 miles one direction, and now we've got to hike the road over here back about 5.5 miles, but I'm hoping it's relatively flat and we'll make some good time there. But we really enjoyed this trail. I would definitely not want to go back the way we came just now.
No.
Oh no, man, ain't happening. That's a tough climb. This one would have been a killer. There is a little spring here at the trailhead, so if you had to get water when you first get here, I think you could filter right out of that little spring. But for the rest, You won't see water again until you get to the North Branch River, which is probably 2.5 miles in, 2.5 hard miles in. So make sure you have enough water when you come here. All right. Well, thanks again for coming along with us to the Rich Hole Wilderness from Mott Mountain. I'm Otter.
And I'm Bone Crusher.
And we'll see you on the trail.